Reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. Hello everyone, and welcome to our run-through of the Cloak Tower dungeon. This is a dungeon that I've gone through a few times, including during the press beta event, but this particular run-through was played with players in the closed beta weekend. So I did start off a little bit late, starting the whole fraps thing going at the beginning, but got in on the fights here and really enjoy the fact that even though we're doing these trash pulls typical in an MMO, you get through them to get to the bosses, because of the action combat, it makes it a lot more interesting and a lot more exciting. The other thing about this tower that is a little bit different as far as tower dungeons that you're used to is that we are not climbing the tower, but instead descending into its depths as we fight through here. So you'll notice that our group is got a couple of clerics in it, a rogue at the front, but we also have all of our companions out, so things do get quite busy as we're going through the dungeon. So this is the last little trash fight before we start descending into the depths of the dungeon. And you can see that it's a ruined tower. It's not in great shape. This whole area of Neverwinter is not in great shape. So let's speed things up a little bit here. Make things a little bit faster so that we get through these trash pulls and get to the interesting parts. Now, I say get to the interesting parts, but really all of this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the whole thing. So this area is the library. Many orcs, for some reason, perusing the books here. It's just a couple of interesting fights, so I thought I'd slow things down here a little bit so you can take a look. We do get a little bit of heals right about here. There you go. There's some heals pop. There's a couple different ways that you can do that with the cleric. There's some AoE heals. There's some effects that you can put on mobs that heal your party every time that the party hits the mob. So it makes for an interesting mechanic. Most of these fights are probably meant to be somewhat tank, DPS, healer-ish. I mean, they're classes that are definitely meant to fit each of those. You see that seal there, that's giving us health every time we hit that guy. Definitely has touches of the Holy Trinity with the healer, tank, and DPS. But in this first dungeon where we're very cleric heavy and quite tank light, really didn't notice that bad. Even when I get aggro, it's not the end of the world. I dodge out of the way a little bit and everybody just kills it. It was quite a DPS heavy group. So we had a guardian fighter, a trickster rogue, and some clerics. So we didn't really notice it though. So let's speed things back up again and get to the next fight, the next boss. First boss. So here we are coming up to the first boss, Mockred the Foul. It was an interesting enough fight, although as most of this dungeon was built, and I can't speak for all of the dungeons, only this one because it's the only one I've really run, it was a fight the boss for a while, boss calls a whole bunch of ads, and try and survive the ads while killing the boss. That being said, I enjoyed it. This one's a caster, so he puts down a lot of AoE. Still didn't really need to do any focused healing at this point. Here come the ads. Please don't kill me. Keep an eye on that little trickster rogue right there. He's going to be the bane of my existence as a healer later on, in later fights. So as you've probably noticed, all this drops fall on the ground, which is a nice touch. It's kind of fun, but you do have to pop around and grab everything. And we're working our way through this underground tower, and look at that, we're now in Caverns. It changes mood for a little while here as we fight our way deep under the tower. And you know what, it's just a shortcut. Go through these, nothing bad can happen, right? The rock wall slid out of the way. It's gonna be fine. No problems happen in caves and Dungeons and Dragons, do they? And now we get to the second boss. This one was a little bit tougher. Throg the Ravenous. Gave us a little bit of trouble. I had to go Healy here for a little while. Quite a few ads, and they hit really freaking hard. And remember that rogue I told you to keep an eye on a little bit? Yeah, he gets into a little bit of trouble here. So, I mean, it starts off normally enough. I always try and grab the ads for a little while. Everybody's health is doing good. You know, keeping an eye on the health bars, but throwing out some smackdown here a little bit. Throwing out a few AoE heals as well, because I start to see people's health bars start to drop a little bit. Now, I'm starting to worry a little bit. That little rogue is getting himself into trouble, but you know what? I'll throw a couple of AoE heals here a little bit. I'll try and maybe target some people and heal a little bit. And this is where it gets a little bit troublesome because, yeah, I see his health's quite far down, so I'm trying to target, and I'll switch over in a second here to Healy mode, right? I'm doing my AoE heals, and I'm trying to do my other directed heal, but things aren't going so well. And he ends up falling, I do believe, but we bring him back up. Notice if you look on the left of my screen, I have shifted over to the healing mode, and I'm trying to target that little rogue, but nope, do I got him? Nope, nope. Okay, let's get him here. Oh, wait, nope, darn, wrong person again. Let's try again. Oh, there you go. So that whole time I was trying to target the rogue and I couldn't get him, which is a little bit of a frustration in a dungeon as a healer. Some of the AoE heals do mitigate that a little bit, but not everything. So there we go. We take the boss down, let's speed things up again and get to the next section. come around the corner here, and oh my gosh, an ogre! Don't kill us. He's gonna kill us so bad, oh my gosh. Ah! Oh wait, he's not that hard. Alright, let's go. Shortcuts over, back into the tower we go. And now we come to the final boss fight. Now there's a couple of things that are really cool about this. First, there's a campfire there, which lets you heal up. You don't heal unless you take potions, use abilities, or are at a campfire, very similar to Dungeons & Dragons Online. There's also a portable altar here for us to use our divination skill, and you'll notice when I use it, right here, up at the top left, I get a little bit of a buff, a minor damage bonus, some rough astral diamonds, and barely any experience points, but really it's a nice way to get a little bit of a buff and to do your call to your gods before you go in to fight the final boss. And we're all set to go. We've got our companions and away we go. Now it does have a mechanic where right here where somebody sets the trigger for the next encounter and you all have to get within that little circle there. And here we are fighting Vancy Bloodscar, the final boss for the Cloak Tower dungeon. You saw a cleric using their big holy skill there to try and damage the boss. Overall, a harder version of the boss fight that we've done so far. We're fighting the boss. He does some effects. He's doing some charge effects there. Pretty much just dodge, get out of the way, watch his cleave, which you can see on the ground there. But then the helper orcs start to come, and there are a lot on this final fight. If you're going through it, you really have to have at least one, maybe a couple of people fighting all the adds, because it's just killer hard if you don't do that. We did have a couple of people go down, and you'll see me in just a little bit. Our friendly little rogue there again goes down, and I had to help him out. Coming up right here, one of my party members is down. I come up, and up they come again. But I'm getting damaged by those wonderful adds. They're still coming. And this is meant to be a level 16 dungeon, and there's a couple of 18s. I'm 19, level 19 here. So, I mean, that's a lot of adds. to be fighting, and it is a handful. Thankfully, the AoE effects that we have damage our foes as well as heal ourselves, so it's a good thing. A fun fight overall. Definitely had to be on my toes, and the fight's not over once you beat the boss. You gotta get all the acts. As you can see there, I was 3rd in damage. Not bad. Little cleric could. And the roll mechanics are fairly straightforward. Need, greed, pass. I always say if you need it, go need. If you're going to sell it, you greed. If you're not greedy, you pass. That was the Cloak Tower dungeon. I hope that you all enjoyed the run through. Make sure to check out MMOreporter.com for all your favorite podcasts, and we will see you in game.